Bonjour, everyone. Hi, this is Neshi Lokotz. Welcome to Star Nation's organization's main fan page here on Facebook, where I do a daily live stream. And I had 2 days off. You think I walked into a completely different world. Oh my goodness. Okay, so I decided I was going to start using Be Live, our partners, right? That helps us do really kind of cool stuff with our shows. Well, I'm using part of Be Live that I haven't used before. And I usually do what's called talk show. And I decided, I think I'll just use the one where we do the interview. Well, just in case I have somebody who wants to jump on the broadcast with me, I'd be able to do that too, right? Well, little did I know that your guest really has to be logged in with you in order to start the broadcast. So here I am scrambling. Who could be home? Who could be available to help me start this broadcast? So look who came to my rescue. Hello, Julie Hedges.
Hello.
I'm so glad you were able to do this. I know that you had to pull over to do this, right?
Yeah. I'm in the McDonald's parking lot. People are driving by, getting into the drive-through in front of me. But it's all good.
Oh my gosh. The thing is that I know that you can't be on for the full hour if you're driving home. So we'll try to make this short and sweet and because if you leave, I'm not sure if I can keep the broadcast.
Oh.
I know. It's too funny. When we first
Can everybody see me? Because I can't see anything. I just see myself. Okay.
Yeah. In fact,
Okay.
Rochelle says howdy. Howdy. Rochelle,
Hi.
could you do me a favor and let us know if you can see Julie? Yeah? Okay. Thanks. See, here's my message earlier, like just before you came on, you clicked onto the link, Julie, as I said, I have a small glitch that I'm correcting. I'll be live in a few minutes. And I was crossing my fingers. Oh yeah, Stephanie's saying she can see us both fine. Good. Yay.
Yeah, I'm in the McDonald's parking lot. How funny is that?
Well, did you have a nice Thanksgiving?
I did. I went to my folks' house, and that's the hub. Everybody gets together at lunchtime. We always do a lunch thing, and that seems to work out with all of the in-laws too. So one of my brother's wives, all of their family functions, they did evening meals. So that worked when they were dating and now together. So it's still the same thing. And my youngest brother's wife, her family is about an hour and 15 minutes north. And so they kind of go for a whole weekend when they go to her family. And then my other brother, his in-laws are in northern Indiana, so about 6 hours away. So again, that's another like weekend thing when they go. So it's good.
So it all kind of works out then, because it doesn't always, for
True.
families and when you include extended family, that kind of stuff. Yeah, good. Mine's always quiet because it's hunting season.
Oh, okay. Hunting season.
Yeah.
Be very, very quiet. I am hunting rabbits or whatever.
That just means that everybody's out of the house.
Ah, okay.
That's all. Yeah. So it's always really quiet. I know that you might have to go. I'll see if Paul can come on and just kind of hold the space kind of thing, because it looks like you have company in your car too.
Oh yeah. Got my pal over here.
Oh my God, Rob Kendall. Oh my God. It's good to see you. It's good to see you.
She says it's good to see you.
It's good to see you. Who am I talking to?
This is Neshi.
Oh, hi, Neshi.
It's Neshi's live stream show at 2:00.
Oh.
Yeah.
Well, let's see what your sound is like without.
Okay, without the earphones.
Yeah. I'm saying, say something again.
How is this? I don't know if
actually you can it's not too bad. It's a little squelchy.
I got the windows open, that's why.
Okay.
Let me give them that fresh air.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, that way at least Rob can hear me. He might not be able to see me, but he can hear me.
Like, who am I waving at? Neshi.
Now I can tell it's Neshi.
Hey.
We're having a rehearsal weekend. So we were taking a lunch break and then gonna hit the tunes here this afternoon.
Okay.
And we might
How
put
about
something up online, right?
Might
We might.
depends on if we can depends on if we actually get something to sound musical or not.
Oh, okay. Or not. I'm sure you guys could do that with blindfolds on and hands tied behind your back. Musical. See, how about if we do this? Because this is about the card draw for the day. And I start that information because usually, we kind of kibitz a little bit and then get going with the cards. But if I do it right away, you guys can actually stay on for that piece. And if you have to leave, then we just maybe I could do is start the broadcast over just to do the housekeeping stuff and that kind of. Yeah, are you game?
Yeah.
Are you
Is that
game?
That's fine. What are we doing?
Yeah.
I'm helping her do the card draw today
Oh, okay.
because of the way the Be Live was working.
You guys are bailing me out.
Hey, no problem.
Oh, it's actually 2:00. We're on Central Time.
Yes.
I'm
Yes.
used to you coming on at 3.
Oh, yeah. You're in Central Time. You're in Central Time. So, this is the cards that came this morning. It's very interesting because it's one card that we've had before and another card that we haven't had. And so I think it's going to be kind of interesting. And for those who, Stephanie says that the sound is good on her end. So that's good. Excellent. All right. So this is the first card that came. And that's Fire Guardian. Fire Guardian. And it's Ignite Your Passions. Ignite Your Passions. I don't know if you guys can see the card or not. No? Yes? No?
No, I can. Rob has it up on his he's got it up on the laptop.
Oh, perfect. Perfect. Thank you, Rob.
You're
All
welcome.
right. So it's called Ignite Your Passions. And but it's a Fire Guardian. And I think this card is always really interesting because if you see in his right hand, because he has his hands open, palms up, and it looks like he has an orb or something over his right hand. And inside the orb is a triangle or a tetrahedron, which is the symbol, it's a platonic solid, symbol for fire. Yeah.
And 2 of them make Metatron's cube.
I'm sorry, say it again.
2 of them will make Metatron's cube.
That
One and put it over the other.
two of them will make the star tetrahedron, and also known as the Merkaba. And when you have the 2 of them that kind of intersect, yeah. And you're right, Rob. It is a part of Metatron's cube. You're right. So anyway, this is Ignite Your Passions. When I was reading it, because this is a guy we've had before. And the Fire Guardian is one that it says, connect your desires. The sparks could lead to something beautiful. And it's about creation. It's about creation and what to create. And when we're in the creative mode, when we want to get something to actually to be in the physical world, our emotions have to be attached to it. Because it's kind of like the fuel, right? And so if you're not excited about it, if you're not, really feeling the emotions of that, whatever you're creating, chances are it's going to take a long time for it to come in, or it won't come in at all because it doesn't have the life force behind it to bring it into the physical world. And so when we talk about creation, in co-creation, we have to talk about passion. They kind of go hand in hand when you're creating something. So, I mean, when you guys are creating music, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. And you got a gig lined up, right? And how does that make you feel when they say, yeah, we can put you in here on such and such a date? Don't you feel happy? Don't you feel joyful? And
That's when the gears really start turning, like, okay, we've got to get rehearsals scheduled, and we've got to get meeting times, and we've got to get our set list together, and all of that. And yeah, one thing I did want to say, if you don't mind, about that, I had a dream. This was many, many years ago. This was dozens of years ago, a couple dozen years ago. I had a dream, and in my dream, I was in school, so maybe, classroom, and I was telling another student that you can write about something you love or something you hate, but you can't write about something you don't care about. So it's this very similar to exactly what you said. You've got to write from your passion, either love it or hate it, but that fiery passion in there gets things moving, lubricates the wheels.
exactly. I love that. And when you were talking about that, I thought, holy smokes. When I worked for the state of Wisconsin, I had to learn how to write all over again because
Oh.
I had to write in a way that did not show any of my personality at all.
Mm.
Right?
More of a
Because
technical writing?
literally I was writing the response for someone else.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. So any of my thoughts and opinions and that kind of thing, any of the words that I would normally use, like when I first started working there, I said, really? You really want me to do this? When I spent a whole lot of time learning how to be expressive in my writing, and now I have to strip that out, And so it took a lot of effort to do that, and lots of edits and edits and edits and even more edits.
But it taught you how to work for the government.
Right. Exactly. Exactly. I mean, that position I was in was merely a cog in a huge wheel. And, that cog could be replaced by another one. It didn't make any difference as long as they could write and then start writing without personality.
And also being a preparation for becoming the publisher and editor that you are now.
That's right.
A good foundation from really seeing and experiencing different writing voices of other people.
Yep. And I can tell when somebody's not writing from their heart. We all can. We all can. A lot of times we just kind of dismiss it, but really we all can. And so writing from passion. And the fire guardian, it says it represents the angels of fire. Fire is an energy that many people are afraid of, but shouldn't be. Burning desire can lead to great expansion. It says, allow the fire guardian to help you awaken a wilder side of yourself and burn away any fear or shame that stands between you and your desires. When this card appears, you're reminded that passion is powerful and absolutely encouraged by spirit. Because, I think that passion or that the desire, especially when it's connected to your heart's desire, and when you actually say it out loud and you start actually working toward it, realizing it on the earth plane, is we're actually working our soul contract at that point. Because it's our soul's desire, right? And I have to say that sometimes people, it's not the fear of failure so much as it is the fear of success. Because when they become successful, it puts them even more out in front of other people. And so then there's a whole other ream of things that go along with that. And sometimes people are just afraid of being successful, Yeah. She's raising her.
Something to say there.
Yeah.
I really like this discussion about the fire dragon. And if I can put a little bit of the stellar perspective on this.
Yeah.
We are still experiencing the boon of this full moon, full moon in Gemini. at 0 degrees. And so the sun and the moon are opposites, right? That's what illuminates this full moon. So the sun just entered the sign of Sagittarius, the sign of fire, the sign of expansive thoughts, and his ruling planet, Jupiter, just entered the sign of Sagittarius too. So we have the ruling sign of expansion and growth in the higher mind and higher expression in publishing and oration and all of that, entering into the mansion of higher thought, expression, and expansiveness. So we are really called into growing that. 0 degrees is a gateway. So here we are, a gateway of super expansion. It's also coupled with Mercury in retrograde. So I think we're supposed to be fine-tuning the stories that we want to tell about our own lives. And as Mercury is going to go direct on December 9th, I think it is, still in that shadow, 6th, okay, still in that shadow period, though, after he's turned around, then we can start really expressing. So stoking the fires within and seeing those places within our own lives of what fires and creativity need to expand, need to be fed, need to let them have their way. And especially about the stories that we tell about ourselves, because that's the opposite. That's Gemini. That's our local neighborhood. So we're local and going far and wide. This is a huge, huge gateway we are just entering. And so like anything is on the table.
All right. So when you were sharing that, one of the things that you taught me about Mercury retrograde is all of those RE words, right? Reinvent, right? And so maybe it's reevaluate. Looking at what is my heart's desire? What are my desires? What do I want to create through my desire, right? And so maybe, like you said, it's the fine tuning, because in our hearts, we already know what that desire is. It's a part of our soul contract. It's about what we're going to bring onto the earth plane, working our soul contract. And so in order to tap into the positive energies of Mercury retrograde, is to reevaluate and say, okay, this is, if you've never even said it out loud, you never talked about it to anybody else but yourself, is that this is what I really, really want to do, or this is what I really, really want to create, or this is what I really, really want to experience. And it's your heart's desire, but you've never said it to anybody. Now is the time to start kind of framing it for yourself. And if you're going to share it with somebody, right? Because as soon as you do that, you start really turning up the flame underneath it, because you're sharing it. It's about that co-creation stuff. So now I understand why we had to do what we're doing right now in order to even have this broadcast. Because, I was doing native live streams. And I thought, okay, I'm going to take a 2-day break. And when I come back, I'm going to start using Be Live for the daily live streams. And just in case somebody wants to jump on to come into the conversation, I can send them the link and they can be a part of it. Little did I know that using this mode, which I haven't ever used in Be Live before, is that you actually have to have your guest on with you. You can't, they just can't be waiting in the lobby. They actually have to be on. Now I know why, though, because Julie, you had to share that piece of information to help us understand the essence of the fire guardian and why he showed up again in the card draw.
Well, thank you for inviting me.
Yes, you're the first person I sent the link to. I thought, I don't know where she is. I don't know what she's doing, but I'm hoping she can jump on.
I'm in the McDonald's parking lot.
Hickey Mickeys. So I just want to check the chat here to make sure I didn't miss anybody. All right. So Kyle goes on to say that you're being guided by your angels to connect with the power energy of desire at this time. If you've recently set an intention to explore a sexual side or become more sexually open, the fire of desire can burn away any old setbacks that are preventing you from expressing that part of your nature. If you're in a relationship, this card can indicate a great spiritual and sexual connection or reconnection. So, most people, when they hear the word desire or passion, that's where their mind goes, is a sexual relationship or into a relationship. And it is that. We can't deny that. It is that. But it's also the same emotions and feelings that we have when we're co-creating with anything, with anyone. And so if you're co-creating with spirit to bring your desires, your heart's desire onto the physical plane, it's the same energy. It's the same energy. And sometimes that can be an interference or a block, is how we feel about creation in that way, because let's face it, there's a lot of beliefs out there that kind of put the cover on it. It's true. They do. And it's something that we have to take a look at. And how comfortable are we with our own sexuality, our own ability to create? So this kind of like it's kind of like putting this into another perspective. If you're only looking at creation or co-creation in one direction, maybe because of Jupiter, where you get to expand that and look at it from a larger or wider angle and include other ways of co-creating than just the sexuality part of it. Rob, you could go ahead and talk, Rob. Rob is saying original sin was defined by Augustine as compuscience. Did I say that right?
No, concupiscence.
Concupiscence. Okay. And so
it basically states, expressly stating that not even having sex, just wanting to have sex, is the reason why you are condemned. In Western Christian theology, that is the very definition, according to Augustine. Not everyone agrees with him, but 80% do. And it was brought over to Protestantism by Martin Luther himself.
Yeah. And I'm glad you brought that up, because that's kind of where I was going with this, is that it depends on how your belief is around co-creation or creation in general, because most people, their minds go to creating children, right? The sexual part of that. But what we're talking about today is a broader perspective of that. But if you have a belief that was instilled in you that creation or sexuality has negative connotations to it, that's something that you want to take a look at and see if that still serves you as a belief, because it could be part of the reason why you aren't able to manifest, right? Everything that you want to manifest, your heart's desire, because you have this belief system sitting out here saying that sexuality, being creative, has a negative thing to it. It's a belief system.
In astrology, creativity lives in two places of the body. So as above, so below. The Hermetic principle is everything floating around up there is also living within our bodies.
Right.
So when we're speaking of creativity, so that fire of creation, that core of creation as the procreation and creation projects in our lives, that's going to be the hara, the dantian, the sacral chakra, the womb. That makes a lot of sense.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
And the other place is in the heart. the heart is ruled by Leo, and Leo is the mansion of creativity and love affairs and those passions. So in the womb area, the dantian, the hara,
Yep.
and the heart.
Mm-hmm. Boy, that all makes sense, doesn't it? When you when you connect the dots together of information, and you're looking at the fire guardian, and why did this essence, this spirit, come to us today? Because the intention of the card draws is, what is the energy that's flowing today that's most important for us to know about? And he shows up.
He shows up.
He shows up. And so, that I really think what I'm feeling anyway is that we're getting an opportunity to really look at, how do we use our fire?
Oh.
How do we use it?
How do you wield your fire?
How do we use it?
Train your dragon.
Mm-hmm. So we know that we need it. It is a mandatory ingredient in manifesting and creating fire.
Mm-hmm.
It's spirit, right? Fire. And so in order to be able to tap into it to an optimal degree, we also have to be able to take a look at how our belief systems, our structures support that or not.
Mm-hmm.
Or not, and having the opportunity to even look at it and say, okay, do I keep this whole thing? Do I feel comfortable with it? Is it supporting me in my soul contract? Is there a portion of it I need to let go? Do I need to let go of the whole thing? And only you can decide that. No one can decide that for you. Yeah. Julie, you helped us understand this, and so did you, Rob, with bringing the Constantine into the picture.
Augustine, not Constantine.
I'm sorry?
Augustine, not Constantine.
I'm sorry, Augustine. Sorry.
Constantine was just some boneheaded emperor.
Why would I even think about that?
Theologian.
Yeah. Well, I'm just thinking, why would I even say Constantine? Because it's not even close. Well, I suppose it could be close to Augustine, but that's weird. Okay. So that's the first card. And so to understand this as fully as we possibly can, this is the second card that came.
I gotta see this.
Father Sky.
Oh.
Father Sky. Trust in the unknown. Father Sky. Trust in the unknown. Here, let me take this down so you guys can see the picture better. Here we go. Trust in the unknown.
He looks like God.
Ooh.
He kind of looks like you, Rob.
A little bit.
Wait, here. I want to make sure our audience gets to see the card as well as they can. Here we go. That's a little bit. That's a little bit better.
Yeah.
Grow your hair out a little bit more, and you got it.
I'm working on it.
All right. So, Father Sky. Well, in the native sense, we call this energy, this being, grandfather. Grandfather. Yeah, grandfather Sky. Because there's grandmother Earth. That's how that all kind of goes together. So, trust in the unknown. The message is, trust that your path is unfolding exactly as it needs to. You have a personal relationship with the Great Father. Know that he's lovingly leading you forward. Lovingly leading you forward. And when I call in the directions and I get to Grandfather Sky, what I usually say is to please come close and to join our sacred circle, and that we're thankful for how he illuminates our path through the sun, the moon, the stars, and the planets, and how that illumination occurs for us to be able to walk our earth walk here, to experience it in illumination that he provides for us, right? Yeah. Oh my gosh, Stephanie, I got to put this up. Stephanie is helping me understand why I might have used Constantine. I'll have to look at that after the show, Steph. Thanks for sharing that. Hey, Julie Hill is here. She says some interesting thoughts this afternoon with that card. Yes, it is. Yeah. I mean, it makes us to stop and consider something in maybe in a little bit different way than we're used to. Okay. All right. And then Kyle goes on to say, Father Sky is the name the Native Americans and other indigenous tribes have given to God. So this card represents universal powers that are masculine in essence, the energies that people have called out to and looked up to in times of need and gratitude. Father Sky personifies your relationship with the masculine energies of the divine and possibly a very powerful male or father figure too. Now, I have a little bit of a caveat to that. Is that, yeah, there probably are some indigenous people here on Turtle Island that refer to Grandfather Sky as God. But in the traditions I grew up in, Grandfather Sky is not the creator. Creator is another energy. And then even beyond that there's another creator that is like the prime creator. So that would be like the great mystery would be that, the great spirit. In Ho-Chunk, they would call God Mauna. For a second there, I forgot it. Mauna, which is earth maker, creator of all things, right? But Mauna isn't the prime creator. There's a creator above that. The creator of creators is above that. So, I'm sure Kyle had the author of the cards, had some input from some of the indigenous people here on Turtle Island. I just wanted to add that because he makes it sound like it's a generalization, and I wanted to make it clear that not all tribes would see it that way. So, he says that you are a co-creator of your life, and every thought, feeling, intention, and emotion you have is creating the road ahead. With that being said, you don't need to know every single detail of what's going to unfold before you. When this card appears, you're being guided to step back and get out of your own way, because there's a greater power that's not only around you, but within you. And Father Sky is creating the best experience imaginable for you. Accepting this will allow miraculous energy to come into your life so you see things from a higher perspective, like the eagle on the card. Yeah. And so it kind of goes along with what you were sharing with us about the cosmos and the astrology piece is as above, so below, as within, so without. And that we don't always need to know all the details for it to unfold for us.
If I can share just a little tidbit, what I would consider Grandfather Sky coming through the tarot, at least through the element of air, and cognating with the planet of Mercury, the messenger of the god, the air planet that brings messages from Creator to Earth and from all the planets and all the gods to man, would be the magician. That's the card numeral 1 of the major arcana, the magician. And that is the first card that the fool, the everyman, all of us, we are all the fool in the tarot. That's the first card that we all encounter. And the magician, I know you probably don't have that handy there, but the magician is standing in front of a table with all of the representations of the different elements, earth, air, fire, and water. And so being that first essence that the fool, the everyman, all of us encounter,
Mm-hmm.
is saying, here are the tools.
Oh.
You have them when you need them.
Uh-huh.
You don't have to
Okay.
worry about packing everything, because the fool, the everyman, all of us, just has this little light knapsack, a little handkerchief on a string, the
Yeah.
hobo pack,
Yeah.
basically.
Yeah. Yeah.
So the first encounter in this story of life, the book of life that is the tarot, is
Mm-hmm.
the magician saying, everything you need will be available for you when you need it, not before and not after.
Yeah. I love it. I love it because now it helps us to understand why these two cards came together, right? Why these two cards came together. Because the fire guardian is telling us that the use of our fire to bring our heart's desire, our passion onto the earth plane. And Grandfather Sky is saying, yes, do that, but you don't need to know all of the details on how that happens.
Right.
That you have everything within you to be able to do that, but you don't have to know the name of it. It's going to happen. I love it. And thank you, Julie, for helping us to understand it in a way that it really brings together the meanings of each of these cards, the essence of these spirits together so that we can understand it from, it's kind of interesting. Perspective is much closer so we can feel it, and yet it's much more expansive too. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
That way? Yeah. Rob and Stephanie are having a discussion.
Oh, see, I can't see it. All I can see is myself here. I can kind of glance over and see the side by side, but I can't read what's being typed.
Well, Stephanie added the Wikipedia information about Constantine the Great, right? And then she says of Hippo or Canterbury, ? Right? All right. And so Rob says Augustine was a foundational theologian in Western Church, and one of the easy reasons why I have abandoned the Western Church. And it goes on to add Hippo. Stephanie adds Augustine of Hippo. That if you really want to understand it in a more deeper research kind of way, between Rob and Stephanie, you guys helped us with that. So thank you. Oh my goodness. So, so you guys, you know the drill, right? Is that anything and everything that you heard today in the discussion and the conversation is that if it resonated with you, to please pick it up, embrace it, and see how the energy unfolds for you today and where it could fit in for you, right? Whether you're experiencing it directly or if we are bearing witness to it for someone. Either one is important, and in either one we're learning something from it for our own soul growth and soul contract, really. So and the opposite is true, that if it didn't resonate with you, that's okay too, because you can just let it lie. You don't even have to pick it up. But the other thing that you could do, if you're so inclined, is you could share the recorded video with someone that you know that may be looking for the information, so you're helping them out, or that they would find this kind of conversation interesting, fascinating kind of stuff, and just share it with them. Maybe you're just the messenger. And so I just wanted to thank everybody who came this afternoon to be with us in the live chat. I appreciate it. Anybody who is looking for something really good to listen to, you guys can share the link with them, and they can watch the video, the recorded video. And I also want to thank both Julie and Rob for being available and helping me out, bailing me out, so I could actually have the broadcast without having to redo the Be Live piece and then giving a new link for it, because people get lost then, because they have a new link to use. So yeah, it's good stuff. Now, I don't want to keep Julie and Rob much longer because they're on the road. They're on their way. You guys want to share where you're going to be at and what you're going to be doing?
Well, we are rehearsing now. Through the end of the year, it's just more kind of fine tuning, going through what we've done in the year and adding to our repertoire and seeing, kind of plugging in what works and what didn't work so well in our set. So it's kind of like a wind up time that we're in right now. Although we're writing some new things. We worked on a piece a couple nights ago, so we are also writing our own stuff. Anything you wanted to say?
Right now, we've got no bookings open. We got a couple things we're trying to book up for next year, but at this point, nothing in the offing. So we're just kind of trying to tighten up the act a little bit and expand a little bit.
And so, how far are you guys willing to travel to entertain?
If the price is right, we could go. We could go a few states. I'll just put it that way. I'm willing.
Come up to Wisconsin.
I think that could be arranged.
That could be arranged. The only thing, like I said, travel expense. I'm broke, so.
Well, you guys know you would stay with me, right? And we'd feed you.
That would be most generous. I appreciate that.
Yeah. Well, you'd stay with us, and then we'd see how many people we could round up to actually hold a concert here. That'd be kind of cool.
Ooh. We could have some George playtime too.
Yeah.
George. I'll make sure to wear another dress so he's playing him a dress.
Next time you see him, he won't be as little.
That's true.
He'll be a big old puppy dog by that time.
Oh God,
puppy dog.
He's going to be getting neutered on Tuesday.
Oh, we'll make sure to send some good prayers and Reiki.
Yeah. I was actually going to put something on the healing spirituality and healing group.
Please do.
Yeah, I'm going to do that. So, well, I just want to thank you both for being with me this afternoon and helping us. Not just to have the broadcast, but with the information you both provided to help us understand the essence of those two cards, the Fire Garden and Father Sky, in a deeper way. It's good stuff. Yeah. All right. So for the audience, I am going to end this broadcast, and then I'm going to jump on a native live stream. Without the Be Live, because there's a couple things I want to share with you guys that I don't want to hold up the travelers that decided to bail me out. Okay. All right. So watch for the live stream coming up in, I'd say, less than 5 minutes. Okay. All right. Thanks everybody.
Thank you.
You guys travel safe.
Okay.
Okay. Bye-bye.
Bye.
Bye.